Peace and blessings and keep up the lessons. This is you know who, your brother from the Brother Taalib show. Yeah, I'm here today. I'm going to get into some good stuff. It's been a little while. I apologize. I appreciate you guys that are still there with me, subscribing, even though I have very small amount of subscribers. Come on, people. Let's get better. I know I have more videos out there and I had more views according to as far as it doesn't add up to the subscriptions. And, subscribing to me is not a thing that you're going to lose anything. It's a thing that we're going to all gain something because you're going to be able to get notifications to see more videos that is going to probably benefit you and make you feel good and happy about it. But, I just want to say that I appreciate those who are subscribed to me and those who've been clicking the like button and sharing the videos and trying to get this algorithm to work so that I can do more for you and not have to be taking my time out doing other things to make money. You know what I'm saying? That's taking away from my time. That's why I haven't been here. So I apologize. Got to be putting in the time. Inflation is high, all that. But anyway, we got some good stuff going. This is a video that's going to be like pretty much like an introduction to what I'm going to be bringing to y'all in the weekends to come. So just bear with me, hang in there, stay with the video, and watch it out. Let's get it. Are you ready? Let's get it. Yes, peace and blessings. Keep up the lesson. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to ya Muslim, Muslimun, wa Muslimat. Yes, all of you. And I open up because this is going to be more my Islamic segment. If you already don't know, in the background you see you see the background, and it's Mecca, and it's beautiful picture that I saved one time. My image that I took this image back when I was making my Hajj in 2012, which it holds a lot in my heart. Every time I put this picture up, I remember that time. It was a beautiful time, and I would love to I would love to go back there and to make umrah to that aspect, inshallah. And may Allah give all of us Muslims that opportunity to go and do this great endeavor of our obligation, actually, according to the pillars of Islam. And so, But anyway, I'm going to get into the point. And the point is, so you know that my topic is going to be pretty much, let me read it off because I don't want to make the mistake and use the wrong word. It's the wrong words. So it says why Tawheed is important for us to, excuse me, sorry about that. There's a message. Why Tawheed is important for us humans to learn. At first I tried to say us Muslims, but I want to allow this to be a little more out to others as well, not just to the Muslims, but to the human beings, because I know I have other people who view my videos that are not just Muslim, and I appreciate you that you do view and that you actually subscribe to me and that you interact with me as well. And may Allah ultimately, I always invite you to Al-Islam because that is our position as a Muslim to do, because we want all the human beings on this earth to submit to Allah in the state of Al-Islam, because Al-Islam is the last and final message and final way of life for humankind to be able to go into the new life, or the original life that we should be in, and that is in the hereafter. This life here is not guaranteed, and we will not be here forever. We're all going to meet our day that we will pass on, and the pass on, as they say, pass on is into the next life. And if you are a believer, you will believe that. If you're not, and you're atheist, so forth, what have you, agnostic, I can understand. So get in these sessions, keep the lessons, okay, peace and blessings, and keep the lessons. Stay in these sessions so you can get some lessons and learn a little bit, and maybe it will inspire you to be on the path of the believer. Inshallah. May Allah guide us all. Allahumma ameen, you, those who view. Okay, so basically what I'm here in this topic is basically dealing with why is it so important to understand or to know Tawheed? Why do we need to know this? And what is Tawheed first? And as we understand, I'm going to break it down easy, but let me open up Bismillah wa salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ajma'in. And I always do this, and we have to do this. We sing praises on Allah. We make praises for Allah's messenger, and say salutations, peace and blessings, and salutations upon him and his family, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we open up with this because it gives us a better position in when we and presence in the malaika, the angels, all of this, and Allah's, a tranquility or sakeen, it can be upon you, and protection from the shaitan, a'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim, from the ultimate enemy of humankind, Iblis, Satan, as you know in the English language. But basically, all of that to protect you in when you're doing a talk, a religious talk, as Muslims. Okay, so this is what we do. So anyway, the basic thing is that Tawheed is based on the oneness of Allah, and this is the English understanding and word, but it has more to it, and the ulama bring a lot more explanation on it. Okay, but me, I'm not going to make this too long. I'm not trying to make it, long-winded, to the best of my ability. So Tawheed is based on the oneness of the Creator and singling Him out in worship. Wahida, coming from the word one, right? Or wahid, as we say in Arabic, is one. So the oneness, and wahida is the same, is the Arabic trying to bring you an understanding of this oneness. Okay, and Allah has that. That's Him. He's Al-Wadud. Okay, He's the one and only God or Creator and Deity and Divine One. You can There's none of the attributes of divinity and Creator and the originator of life, and all these attributes that Allah carries, as we know, 99 of them have been revealed to us, properly revealed from Him, not from man making up their own stuff, okay, or attributing themselves as images of such in beliefs and different beliefs, and not to get into the points of people saying that they're gods on this earth, or many gods, or how they are the same as God. No, not to say as we have been and we should be people with knowledge. Why did Allah give us 5 senses? Why did the Creator give us 5 senses? To be balanced, not to be imbalanced. But some are born with imbalances or disabilities, as we know, right? So they might lack that. But then Allah, He enhances that the sense that is missing, the sense that He has, or that person has, she or he, to be in a higher level of, like with a person who's blind, their senses of hearing and taste and other senses are enhanced to make up for the loss. So to give still a sense of a balance. You see what Allah does? He's the all knower. He knows what we need. He knows what He created us with, and what He's gonna continue to do so to provide as Ar-Razaq, to provide, the provider. He's the provider. This is His attributes. This is His name, Ar-Razaq. It's only for Him. He's the true provider. Because even if we go out, and me as a man, I'm supposed to be the provider for my family, as they say, but we're not the provider as far as for their life to live. We're the provider financially. So I go, but I can't get that finance if the Creator, who gave me life, or He is the Ar-Razaq, He is the provider, doesn't provide the means for me to get the job or to be able to do a business if I'm doing a business. So this is where Tawheed lies, and to get back to the point, that it is all in Him, that in the Creator, that the oneness lies in, and that He has all the power and divinity and everything over all these things. Okay? He has all of that. We only have likeness. Likeness is not the same as an image, and that's the problem with the wording. And I was also inspired to do this video, and it is an introduction to what I'm going to be doing later, and letting y'all know that I'm going to be doing debating sessions in a live on YouTube, and it will be live through StreamYard. Pretty much that's the stream I'm going to be probably using, because I know it a little bit. I've used it before. So I will be having people being able to have the chance to say and ask a question And if they wanted to have a short session of a debate, meaning question back and forth, or a rebuttal of what I might bring, and they want to rebuttal it, and then I will tell them where they're wrong at within that rebuttal, if they are, or if they're on point with it, and then we can build on it. Not no argumentation, because that's from Islam. That is not a position we're supposed to take as Muslims. We're not supposed to argue, especially Allah's word, the Quran, and the Prophet ﷺ statements and all these things and aspects of Islam. This is not the proper etiquettes and proper way of a Muslim. To argue, as you see some Muslims are doing, this is incorrect. Arguing and making these huge debate sessions and this and no. You can ask a question to a Muslim, and the Muslim can answer the question. And y'all can go back and forth for a certain point in time, but I can't force that person to accept what I believe and to accept what I'm coming with. So after a certain point in time, I'm going to leave him with it, because the Prophet ﷺ sent his companions to the people of the book, and he sent one of the main ones, Mu'adh, and he told them to discuss what? Upon Tawheed. Bring it to him. Bring it to the king of Benzempian, if I'm correct. I think it was in Yemen. Yeah, in Yemen. Mu'adh ibn Jabal. Okay, as we know from the hadith, and we know from the traditions of that knowledge of understanding when he sent, and the methodology of how dawah, calling the people to Tawheed, calling to people to Allah as the one and only true deity worthy of worship, as the prophets before did the same thing. Noah alayhi salam. Why the people, was astray, and what they was astray in, that led to the great flood, and he had to build the ark, right, with his family, and he even, had to separate himself from his one of his wives until he was married to another wife that actually went with him and followed the guidance that Allah gave to them to keep on going, and not to think that they were going to be saved by going up into a mountain, one of his wives and his sons. So this is like a sense of shirk too, because you disbelieve in Allah's statements. You disbelieve in Allah's commandment. And he tells you, you're putting your trust in earth, like people calling them Mother Earth. They're calling themselves the earthers or whatever, God bodies, stuff like this. And this was with this video that I was inspired from. A brother was doing it by the name of Saeed. Happy Companion is the video. Is the YouTuber brother that does, and he, mashallah, may Allah reward him. And he came and brought, and basically the 5% nation and the God bodies of earth, and the earth women, the women that are earthian women, or whatever they call it, that their shirk is clear with the Muslims, and should be clear with us, as especially a non-Muslim I can understand, but even Christians, some of them, and the Jews, Yahuds, the Hebrew Israelites, know the difference between, okay, because they studied their faith enough to know that aspects of the Tawheed in their faith, because the aspects of Tawheed was in their faith, especially with the Yahud, with the Torah. Musa alayhi salam, Moses said, do not worship any other gods, and do not partake on any gods. He destroyed them. He destroyed the calf with the tap, with Allah's word, and these things was destroyed. And the people who were following, worshiping this calf, and they were supposed to be Yahuds. They were supposed to be Hebrew Israelites then. And Musa came with Allah's commandments and his word to tell them that first and only, the main one of them all, was that to not partake into worshiping other gods. That's where it was at. Okay, so that's again what Tawheed is based on, is the oneness and the worship, and enjoining Allah's worship, not enjoining any gods or worshiping of any others with Allah, singling out Allah in worship. Your wants, your needs, your thoughts, your actions are all should be due to focusing on to pleasing Allah, and that you're doing this because He put you here for a reason, and there's things that you need to do, and knowing the boundaries that are set. That's He gave to us. He gave the commandments. He gave the words. He gave the Sharia. He gave the laws. And plenty of times, as He sent His messengers, they all came with laws and how mankind to live, because Allah knows what human beings need and what we don't need, and knows the boundaries in this life of what things we shouldn't do. Just like animals learn from instinct. Allah gave them instinct as a law of guidance, a guidance of instinctual law for them to avoid themselves from harm. And our laws are more than just instinct. It's brain, it's intellect, it's textual. He that has been preserved. Some people try to debate and say, "Oh, well, who's to say that's God's word? And why do we have to have a word? Why can't we just believe?" No, you can't just believe without what he said. Because who did you learn from? You learned from somebody who said something. So that because they preserved it in the tablet and wrote it down so that it can be preserved and given to the next generation, that's what that was done. That's why texts were put together to preserve, so that knowledge that they, dictated, right? These prophets dictated, are preserved for the people who come later. Okay, so you can reject a text of scripture or a text of the Creator's word and try to say, yeah, you got to have a religion, you have to have a place of worship. Why shouldn't I? Why do I have to go to a place of worship? Why can't I just work? Yeah, you can. The earth, and in Islam, that's where we have. That's that balance. Like I said, that the balance is that you can worship Allah on this earth anywhere. You don't have to be in the masjid, but the masjid is the place where everybody congregates. There's more blessings there. There's more protection there. There's more focus on what you're doing. You're not playing in an area where somebody can attack you out in the street and out in the open. Right. So this is what we understand. But unfortunately for the Muslims, them attacking our faith and attacking the people of Islam, they're going into the masjids like in Palestine and killing the Muslims and blowing up their masjids and stuff like this. Or shooting tear gas into their masjids, totally defiling their belief. This is what it is. But of course, when Allah, see, this is why it's important, and why I'm saying, because when Allah said Tawheed, and when he said this so many times through the times, he has shown what will come as a result of denial and rejecting Tawheed. That mankind will be, wal asr, innal insana lafi khusr. Excuse me, let me say it right. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Why? Because we want to seek refuge from the shaitan to be messed up and making errors in Allah's word. So, and now, Surah Asr. Wal asr, innal insana lafi khusr. Verily, mankind is in loss. And that's the first verse that I'm just going to speak on. Okay? Basically, mankind is in loss, been in loss from ancient times and still today. And the loss is why? Is the result of denial, rejection, and disbelief. Or polytheism. Because Allah does not, and now we get it to the point. Allah does not like, and he hates shirk. This is what it is, understand and known with Allah. Shirk is misguidance. Shirk is leading to a path of destruction. Because what happens is virtually it can lead to kufr. It can lead to disbelief in the Creator, atheism. That's the worst. But shirk is bad, very, very bad, and worse to Allah because the people are enjoining their worship to the wrong beings that don't deserve that worship. There's gods, plural, goddesses, females, female versions of God, but are they worthy of being a creator? Or being the God, or being the no, they're false gods, and they're people, and they're human beings, and they're creatures of creation that die, that get sick and perish and no longer exist, and then people put statues up for them and altars and worship them, and they don't realize that's even worse. Like Abraham showed to his people that they can be destroyed and broken down with a hard stick or object to break them down and crash them, throw them to the floor, as he did, and that's why his people wanted to try to actually kill him and burn him in the fire. To make the story short, what he did to Ibrahim alayhi salam, Abraham as we know him, right? He was showing and proof the gods that they worship in the Kaaba. It was in the Kaaba. Not in the Kaaba. It was in their homes. It wasn't in Kaaba. The Kaaba wasn't built yet. That was from the Quraysh that did that later. But I'm talking about Ibrahim's people. Excuse my mistake right there. So it wasn't the Kaaba. Let's get that correct. Kaaba wasn't existing at that time when Abraham was young. But his people, they worship in their place that they kept these gods. Several gods, statues though. Most of them were statues and different made out of different types of substances of the earth, whether it was wood, whether it was stone, clay, different, whatever they can take and make these figurines or make these images. Images, right? That's why in the Torah, in the Bible says the image, would not worship any image or create an image of God. But so then that contradicts when the people say God created us in his image. You see, so the wordings that were messed up, there was no balance there. It was even extreme on the one end, bad, and extreme on the other end. They was trying to be correct, but then they went too far. So we got to be in the middle. We have to be balanced. So when you use the word image, that it should go with the balance and the correctness, that it should go to what it means if you're going to use it in English language. That is talking about the person and how their likeness is. So now we're going to use likeness. This is what we should use. But if you deal with image and you say that you are like Allah, that you have likeness of Allah, then you got to be clear with that. You can't be, and that's why I said it's the balance. You can't say, oh, yeah, I'm the image of Allah, so I'm a God. Now you take the image, that word image, and say you're a God or goddess, implies that you have godly powers and you have godly position and divinity. You're the divine one. This is where they're going astray with shirk does. See, shirk can be underhanded. Okay, but let's get into what this is going to be another video. I'm going to have to do second part to this because this can be a long subject. So I'm going to end with this, just to note that in the next video I will bring the proofs and the evidences from the Sheikh Fawzan al-Fawzan's his book of Tawheed, the book of let me get that correct for you. Yeah, the book of Tawheed, and also in the Noble Quran is Epitaph number 2 on page 902. For those of you who have a Noble Quran, and this is it right here. This is the one I have, and it speaks about ashirk, which is polytheism in its various manifestations. So I'm going to go into there and speak a little bit on those aspects of those of shirk, so you can get an understanding what I'm talking about and why Tawheed, to finish out, is so important for us to know and learn. Okay, people, thank you for listening. This is your brother Taalib from the Brother Taalib Show. Keep up with the lessons, peace and blessings, and keep up with the lessons. And until next time, and don't forget to click the like button, share this video, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Get with your brother. Try to keep this notifications coming to you, because I got more to come, and I'm going to do more to my best of my ability. Now, if you, like I said, the more of you who come in and view these videos, click subscribe off the back, you're going to help me to be able to bring out more videos, because I'll have more time to spare, because I don't have to do so many hours, because now I'm monetized and I'm also being able to make money doing this. Not you paying me the money, YouTube's paying me the money. So if you subscribe, it doesn't hurt and doesn't take nothing away from you. It helps me to be able to give you more. Okay? So thank you for listening, and I love you guys. Peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. And subhanakallah hamdihi ashhadu wa la ilaha anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace.